And welcome back to the channel to discuss all things aviation. Angelo Jibe welcoming you back. Of course, things keep happening in the US, interesting things, and we need to discuss them in this channel. The most recent interesting thing to happen in the US was a passenger landing an aircraft. Now, this is a passenger who had never flown before, who has no pilot experience, had no idea what he was doing. That's what makes this particular case extremely interesting. I know that I've talked to a few friends of mine who are not aviators, and they've always asked me this question. They've always, some of them actually, while joking, said, "No, I wish I could just be in that situation and figure out what could happen." But I doubt that anyone really wishes to be in that situation, because unlike the case we're going to discuss today, it could possibly turn nasty, depending on where you are and how fast are those responsible for assisting you able to assist you. So don't wish for that. Yes, it happened in the US recently involving that Cessna 208, but it's not something that we should aspire for, really. But let's discuss the case nonetheless.
I've got a serious situation here. My pilot has gone incoherent. I have no idea how to fly the airplane, but I'm in training in 9100.
Number 333 Lima Delta, Roger. What's your position?
I have no idea. I can see the coast of Florida in front of me, and I have no idea.
Roger, try to hold the wings level and see if you can start descending for me. Push forward on the controls and descend at a very slow rate. We'll maintain 5,000 and follow the coast, and we're going to try to find you here on the radar.
Okay, good boy. I've got the coast in my headlights. I'm at 7280. Do I need to get lower?
Number 3 Lima Delta, Palm Beach approach is going to talk to you. They're going to direct you to the Palm Beach airport. You should hear them on this frequency momentarily.
Turn on Lima 3. We got an emergency inbound downstairs, so we're trying to get everybody, we're opening up the runways now. And appreciate everybody's patience here. You just witnessed a couple passengers land that plane. Man, they did a great job.
The passengers landed the airplane?
That's correct.
Oh my gosh, yeah, no, great job.
No flying experience.
So what happened in this particular case? Cessna 208, it's a single engine aircraft, was en route from Bahamas to Florida when the pilot somehow became incapacitated. The airplane made a sharp bank to the one side, and it also began descending in a nosedive. And of course, this will startle passengers who begin, and a Cessna 208 is a small aircraft, so you can actually see what's happening in the cockpit. So you can tell that your pilot is not feeling well, and that something needs to be done quickly. So somebody must have taken over the pilot seat, next to the pilot, and of course, the quickest thing is don your communication gadgets, or put on your headsets and establish communication with whoever is on the channel. And the passenger was able to do that, frantically so. He spoke to whichever ATC was on the frequency at the time, and they told them that the pilot is incoherent, he doesn't know what to do, and he's never flown before. So that was a smart move on his part, because to quickly confess your predicament helps ATC to help you. That's what every pilot is trained on, that when you have an emergency, confess. I mean, even if it's your blunder, even if it looks stupid, even if it embarrasses you in a way, but confess. Are you running low on fuel? Are you lost? Because unless you give whoever is supposed to assist you all this information, it's going to be very difficult for them to assist you. So the passenger was very quick to say, my pilot is incoherent, and I've never flown before, and we're in trouble. But it looks like in the beginning, the person who was manning the tower at that time did not have the full understanding of the situation. Kept asking the pilot to report. I mean, I'm saying the pilot, yes, he was a pilot for that moment. The passenger was flying the aircraft, to report his position. And for a passenger who is just used to being flown, these are very specific and technical questions. You need to be aware of your terrain. You need to do some dead reckoning and realize, okay, how far have I flown? Where do I think I am now? All the passenger could say was, I can see the coast of Florida, I don't know where I am. Then ATC realized, okay, this situation is a little bit more dire than I thought. Then they called someone who is more experienced, an ATC controller who is also an instructor, a pilot instructor. He trains pilots, in the art of flying. He's 20 years experience. And he came on board And that guy managed to save the situation. Honestly, he managed to guide the passenger down to the runway. He managed to, funny thing is that these particular instructor had never even flown that particular aircraft, the particular version of the aircraft. But using just the schematic of the cockpit, he was able to direct the frantic passenger on what to do, how to reduce power, how to enter a descent, how to maintain it in that, how to aim for the center line, and how to kill the engine after landing. And heroically, that passenger actually landed the aircraft safely, and nobody was hurt in the process. So yes, to all my buddies who always ask, what happens if the pilot or both pilots are incapacitated in flight? You've got your answer. It can be done. You just need someone in the tower who is experienced in doing this, to calm, number one, to calm the passenger who's flying down, and to give them specific directions on what to do, when to do it, and just build that confidence that you can do this, you can save the day, and then the person can land the aircraft. Of course, afterwards, the fella who assisted the passenger to become a pilot for a short while came to the tarmac, and they hugged, and they, because you've interacted under severe circumstances. It was an interesting moment actually to meet the guy that saved you, and for the guy that saved you to meet the guy that saved everybody in the aircraft. Angela, you'll be signing out and saying cheers.